The following podcast has been rated Listener MA. It contains strong language, violence, adult situations, nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Unfiltered Sportscast. I am your host. My name is Scooter McGurman, alongside Scotty Gurman, fine. And alongside me, as usual, I have two excellent stand-up comedians. First to my left, I have the 1984 Kingman County T-Ball Defensive Player of the Year award winner, Mr. Jeremy Joseph.
Good evening, Scrotum.
Well, fuck you too, Jeremy. And then also we have another funny guy. He is still going through all of his elementary years so he can take over his father's hotel chain. We like to call him the Wreck, Mr. Derek Alders.
Ni hao, Scotty.
Ni hao, motherfucker.
That is actually hello in German, and it means may peace be with you.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't sound German to me there, buddy.
Yeah, I had a corn dog today, so I was feeling a little German.
All right. Yeah. Anyways, week recap. Just a weak one.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want a strong recap.
No,
we
just
want a week.
A week recap.
Week sauce.
How are your gentlemen's weeks?
Jeremy?
Fine.
Did anything
It was
happen?
not exceptional by any means, but it was not horrendous.
Well, that's always good.
Yeah, nothing really of note.
Okay, you're fun.
I'm a lot of fun. In fact, I got up very early on Saturday morning with the full intention of getting some good yard work done, and I wound up watching the entire season of Orange is the New Black.
How'd that go?
13 straight hours of women in prison. Not fucking.
Okay.
Thank God that series is over.
Why did you keep watching?
I got invested. The first couple seasons were pretty good, and then it's like, well, any one of these could be the last season, so I might as well just see it out. And it just kept fucking going.
Was it just anticipation, like maybe they're finally going to do it?
Yeah, well, the very first episode, they show Laura Propone's tits, and they never show them throughout the entire 7 seasons again.
Let down.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, and they show a lot of other women's tits who you'd rather not see.
Yeah, that's kind of like the ones that like pay with titty money in the summertime. It's never like, oh, I want her dollar from her bra.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I get her dollar from her bra.
If you've ever seen like a documentary about a nudist colony, you find out it's not like in porn. There's nobody at a nudist colony that should be naked. They're not showing off. There's nothing sexually gratifying about a nudist colony. There's a bunch of people who are built like me.
Yeah, it'd be like me, Jeremy, and Danny DeVito just walking around looking for bitches. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's absolutely awful. How about you, Derek? Do you have anything fun?
I went fishing this weekend.
I'll be darned. How'd you do?
I caught it's called a saw guy.
A saw guy?
Yeah, it's it looks it's got fangs.
That's gross.
It is like a prehistoric looking fish. It was fucking terrifying.
I saw the picture. It looks like a walleye, kind of.
It's a mixture of a sauger and a walleye.
I don't know what a sauger is. That sounds racist.
Yes, it is. If you use the hard R, it's a saga.
Yes, it's saga.
Yeah, like the saga continues.
Sure.
So,
Damn.
yeah, it's fucking nasty looking, we were
did.
getting ready to throw it back, and it was like literally like snapping, like it was trying to fucking bite me.
Well, you caught him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
No. And I threw it back, and then I looked it up because it looked disgusting. Mm-hmm. And turns out apparently they're delicious. So I fucked that up.
Oh, if they've got walleye, and walleye is like the only freshwater fish that I will eat, and they are so good.
Really?
Very good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're a type of pike, I believe. Walleyed pike.
I'll be darned. I didn't even know.
I caught one of those, and that was pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah. How do you get the hook out of that?
Pliers.
Actually, you know what? With that guy, I was like, you know what? I'm not touching you. So go nuts. And I just fucking held the thing up and let him flop himself into the live well. That's pretty much what I did.
Okay.
And then I got him out of the live well with a dip net.
Okay.
So,
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'd say you guys are boring, but you know what? I really didn't do a hell of a lot.
Yeah, let's hear what excitement you went through, Scotty.
He got fisted for the first time this
No.
weekend.
No, that used to happen to him a lot in baseball.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I got to go down and I got to hang out with Bob again over the weekend. That was a lot of fun. He's becoming a good friend of the show.
Boy,
and
it sounds like of yours. He never calls me to do anything
because he doesn't have your number.
I am the show, motherfucker.
But no, we've got some exciting news that's coming down the pipe. We'll eventually release the closer that we get to it. We teased last show that maybe it would be kind of cool to release the idea of the new Wichita Baseball 2020 team name whenever they release in November, and I'm kind of feeling it out, seeing what we can possibly do to be a lot of fun and entertaining, and we talked a little about that, and other than that, that was pretty much my weekend.
We're going to be the air capital butt chuggers.
I don't think they'll go for it.
Just butt chugs.
Just butt chugs.
The butt chugs, air capital butt chugs.
There you go. Got it.
ABC.
or I guess to be politically correct, butt chuggas.
Yeah. You leave the R off. You don't do that.
Gotta leave that hard R off.
Yeah.
Oh, good grief. Well, guys, if this is the first time you've ever listened to this is a show kind of centered around the sports where we like to make inappropriate jokes and take them a little bit too far. And we even do that with jokes that are not related to sports as well.
Yeah, if you tuned into this for your sports news, good fucking luck.
I don't know. We got some good stuff that we always...
No,
Yeah,
nothing. Not our sports stuff.
Well, I don't know. We have some stuff that we're going to talk about, and we have a couple of things that we predicted that came true. I say we very loosely. It was Derek, but we do that. It seems like we do that quite often.
Mostly, it's us just trying to throw you off the trail of talking sports. That's what we try to do.
I did talk to one of our listeners. He wants to meet your sister.
She's invisible. She doesn't exist.
Oh, she does. She's on the other side of the wall of the restroom of the Flying J at exit 128 on I-35.
Okay.
Jordan, exit 128 on I-35 at the Flying J between the hours of 4 p.m. and midnight.
Yeah, exactly.
What else
Just
would have
stick your
made
dick
my
in the
dick
hole.
smell like old cooking oil?
Yeah.
Had to have been your sister.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I make sure all the lights are off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she is invisible in that sense, but...
Make her take out her teeth.
Oh, she has teeth?
Tooth.
Mm-hmm. Well, other than the ones on her puss.
Oh, gross.
Once she moved to the gas station, we started calling her Big Gulp.
Mm-hmm. Not because she like gulps cum or anything, but because she drinks a lot of big gulps and it's starting to show.
Yeah.
That's how she got diabetes. I'm drinking all those
This
big
is her shirt, and I fit into it. So
Was it pong out with your tongue out?
that is an attempted joke by fellow local comedian Dan the Man.
Yeah, Dan the Man's an
This
awesome
is
guy.
his T-shirt. He's a good guy.
Awesome.
Yeah,
All
he's
right.
okay sometimes.
Well, let's kick off the show, guys. We got baseball to talk about.
I thought we just did.
Yeah, I know. We'll kick off the actual sports side of the show.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
We've got quite a bit of baseball to talk about. While we were doing the last show when we were here, that was basically the end of the trade. That was the trade deadline. Was the following day at noon, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. 5.
It was at 5 p.m. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Eastern, Central,
Yes,
Standard,
Eastern.
what?
Eastern.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, exactly.
No, daylight savings.
Oh yeah, maybe we didn't factor that in. Who gives a shit? But there were a lot of players that
We're a
changed.
sports show. We should be factual with our information, Scotty.
Okay, fine. There was a lot of trades that happened that I think helped a whole bunch of teams. But the only one that popped into my mind was Zach fucking Greinke going to the Astros. The Astros literally just won the World Series.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I can't think of any team that can go up against that rotation.
The Yankees will be cool to see, and because that's going to be, I think, the ALCS is the Yankees. And Astros.
Yankees and Astros.
And
Yeah,
that lineup against that pitching will be cool to see. But I mean, you've got to face your big three. I mean, that's your rotation. The playoffs essentially. You're going to have to face, if it goes 7, you're facing Greinke twice. You're facing Garrett Cole twice. You're facing Verlander twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I don't see him. I don't see him beating those three guys.
yeah.
I mean, Greinke's not what he used to be, but he's still pretty fucking solid.
His
I know
ERA
that-
is under 3.
And that's
Is
the
it really? Okay.
Yeah, and that's the fucked up thing is that he's the number 3rd pitcher in that rotation.
yeah.
He's going in there behind Cole and Verlander, and he is not. I mean, he's a solid 3 guy, but he's an ace coming from the Astros.
Oh, yeah,
sorry,
and-
of the Diamondbacks.
Right, and I mean, I haven't actually sat and watched him pitch in a few years, really since he was with the Royals, other than whatever team he was playing if they'd come play the Royals. But, I mean, he used to have filthy, nasty, fuck you stuff. I mean, it was literally try and fucking hit this. There were twice in, I want to say, 2011 that he had 2 complete game 1-0 losses.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just the fact that his team couldn't get him any run support is the only reason he didn't win 20 games that year.
He won the Cy Young that year. Didn't he?
Yep. But I don't see any other team that comes into comparison in the American League of who's going to take down the Astros. I literally do think that changed my mind. I said, who was I was pulling for the Brewers, and I think the Brewers
That's the NL.
I know, on the other side of who I would love to see in the World Series. I said I would love to see the Brewers. I really wouldn't mind seeing the Cubs. I really obviously would love to see the Cardinals, but it's not going to happen.
It doesn't matter who's coming out. The only shot the team that it's
It's
your
not
only
the
shot's
Dodgers.
going to be the Dodgers.
I
And they're
don't
not going to beat them.
I don't think the Dodgers make it. I just don't. I have a really weird feeling. I like the Braves better than I like the Dodgers. Actually.
It's not coming out of the Central.
I think you're probably right.
Central
At this
doesn't
point,
get out of the DS.
Now that I've seen a couple of games, like St. Louis just went to Oakland and just got fucking shellacked. Now they're playing in L.A. and
They're gonna get
they're
shellacked.
gonna get shellacked.
Yeah, they lost
So
yesterday.
they lost yesterday.
8-2, I think.
Yeah, 8-0.
8-0?
No, 0. And right now we're supposed to have, now we have everybody back. I think the only person that's not off of the IL,
Ozuna?
no, Uzuna is now back. Molina is the only one that's really still kind of in the middle of rehab. Everybody else is back. Matt Carpenter's back. We should be full strength, and we can't score a fucking run off of Oakland. So
Oakland's a good
Oakland
team.
actually has
I
the
know
best,
they're good.
some of the best pitching in the American League.
They're what,
I
60
know.
and 49?
But it's kind of like, I think they should at least have some kind of offense, and it's not happening.
Yeah.
I mean, they were one hit, I think, until the 7th inning at one point.
That's what I'm talking about.
So yeah, it's going to be a struggle to watch the rest of the season. I think we still do make the wild card, but we probably get beat out pretty quick. So that's my whole take on that.
Yeah.
On top of that, though, we had Puig going to I can't talk. Puig going to Cleveland.
Yeah. In the middle of a fight, I think he got traded.
He did during our episode, which is kind of cool. I went back.
Yeah, we
and,
broke the news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were.
And people got to hear it a day later.
We're sitting here doing the episode, and shit, I should have turned the TV on, but I decided not to today. But
I think it's a distraction.
maybe. But during our episode, we're kind of watching the game, and sure as shit, all of a sudden the fight breaks out, and Puig is fucking. It wasn't him that dove into the dugout,
No,
but it was
Garrett.
Yeah, Garrett did, but Puig found himself right in the middle doing as much swinging as he possibly could.
Well, and the fucking coach came out of the clubhouse. The coach had
Yeah.
been thrown out, and he came out of the clubhouse going after Hurdle.
Yeah.
The manager,
Yeah.
the Reds manager did. I never did hear what happened to him. What as far as suspension goes, the player.
10 games, I think, is
That's
what
it?
Puig got, I think.
No,
Puig got 4, I think.
4?
no,
Yeah.
Garrett.
Garrett got 10, I
Yeah.
think.
That's it for
Which is
maybe the ballsiest move that I've ever seen, where the pitcher comes off the mound and goes to the dugout of the visiting team.
Yeah, he basically did the exact opposite of charging the mound. He charged the dugout. Nobody was running after him. I'm sure they were jawing at him, but
Right.
he just goes straight for the dugout like he's a one-man band getting ready to just demolish everybody.
And took a swing at a bench coach.
Yeah.
And whiffed.
How badass would that be if you could do that at your regular job? Like somebody comes through the drive-thru and they're pissed that they got ketchup on their burger, and Scotty just dives out of the drive-thru window right into their car, like, you son of a bitch. And then they're like, Scotty, you go home without pay for 4 days. All right.
well worth
Yeah,
it.
that's the thing is I can do it.
Yeah.
I just won't have a job the next day.
Right, that's the great. That's
Right.
the bet. To me, that's the ultimate privilege of being a professional. Ron Artest beat the shit out of fans and then won a championship after that. That is the best job ever.
What
Absolutely.
did he get, a half season?
Who cares? He got a ring, is what he got. Who gives a shit? You got a cup thrown at him, and he fucking went ham on those people in the stands.
That might be the pine tar equivalent of in the NBA.
What, the Ron Artest?
The Ron Artest,
Yeah.
And dude, there was a fan that got up in his face, and he just straight right to his fucking nose. And what's surprising is the guy took it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a glancing blow. It was a
Full
solid connect right in the fucking honker. And I mean, dude, I mean, it rocked him back, but he just kept standing there. From a professional athlete, that was impressive because he wasn't nothing to.
No.
I mean, any kind of an athlete or anything. He was just a dude.
Yeah.
And then he changes his name to Meta World Peace after that whole thing, which was even better.
It's the biggest load of horse shit ever, is what it is.
What does it fucking mean? I mean,
do you know what it means?
World peace.
I know what
the
meta
last
means,
part.
all encompassing, and then the world peace. I guess you do it. You beat the shit out of people till they start being peaceful.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But yeah, those are the only 2 trades. Do you know of any other trades that you think helped your team? I didn't have any. The St. Louis Cardinals did.
Yeah, we got
no movement.
Nick Castellanos.
Okay.
Which he had his first home run as a Cub the other night.
Cool.
Last night, I believe, against Oakland.
Okay.
And that's a big trade. His power numbers should improve. Mm-hmm. I think he had 19 on the year, or 17 on the year before he came, but hitting at Wrigley when the wind's blowing out.
Yeah.
He's a 270, 280 hitter.
That's good.
They didn't really give up much to get him.
That's even better.
Nobody really in their top. I don't think anybody in their top 10. They got to keep Alizé. They got to keep Garcia, the second baseman that's been hitting well. I think it's Garcia. Yeah, I mean, they've got Nico Horner still at short in the minors. No real pitching prospects they gave up. They gave up a couple prospects, but I think they were low A, not real big guys. So that was a good move.
Yeah.
I like that move. They traded C.J. Edwards to the Padres for Wick, I believe, which I think was just shit for shit.
Yeah.
I'd rather would have held on to Edwards at that point because I feel like there's more upside with him if you could ever find his command. So, but other than that, I thought that was a pretty significant deal. That was on the back burner for you've heard about that for about a month. That they were going to try and do that, and they finally got that done. So,
and then Whit Merrifield stayed with KC. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, Greinke was really the only showstopper as far as
that was the big one. I think
the
Castellanos might have been the second biggest one, and that's not a gigantic blockbuster.
I thought,
and that is going to help Houston out, especially if they get to the World Series, because Greinke can hit.
Yeah. That's true.
He's hit several home runs.
But when he goes and plays against the National League, he's going to be even more valuable. Yeah. That's another bat in your lineup. I thought Puig was that should help Cleveland. Cleveland's going to make the playoffs. They're not. I don't think they're going to go very far. Whoever they run into, I think they're going to get beat. But Cleveland's going to make it.
If they make it as a wild card team, they're going to run into Houston probably. Yeah, well, depending if they're first or second. Well, no, yeah, if they make it to the wild card, they're going to run into Houston.
I think that was a good acquisition for Cleveland and for Puig, excuse me, for that matter, because he's now on a team that is going to the playoffs as opposed to the Cincinnati Reds, who's probably not going to make it.
Well, he's been in the World Series 2 years in a row with the Dodgers.
Maybe he'll change.
So
who knows? Not going to happen. He's going to run into Astros, and
he'll find more playing time because he can DH. So he can play in the field and DH. So.
That's true. That's a good point. I would probably much rather him. He's a fucking good defensive player too.
He is, but if you want to give him a rest, you can put him at DH.
Correct. He's a very good defensive player as long as he doesn't make a mistake. I tried to make that point, and I listened to the way I said it last episode, and I don't think I made it very well. If he takes a bad route at a ball or misses a ball and it goes past him and it goes to the wall, he just jogs to it. He doesn't sprint after it because he made a mistake and he feels bad. He just kind of like, oh, fuck, you know. Blah,
he
blah,
pouts.
Blah. He pouts. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. He pouts.
He pouts. He throws fits.
Right.
And I think a guy like that is much more harmful to your clubhouse.
I agree.
The Indians right now are probably the hottest team certainly in the American League. I think they probably will wind up overtaking the Twins. Last I saw, they were 3 back. Still quite a bit of season to go. I mean, the Twins are still doing well. They'll probably get a wild card.
Yeah.
But they are waning from what they started with.
God,
my wild card pick in the NL, I think the Mets are going to get it.
They're
over 500 now.
They
were way under, and then they made that trade for. They're doing very well. I think the Mets are going to come out of the NL with a wild card at least.
That's possible. They may kick the Cardinals out the way that we've been playing.
Who's in first place in that division right now?
The Braves, and then Phillies, and then the Mets, I believe.
Okay.
And they now will probably...
Or the Nats. The Nats might be up there, too.
Nats are. Sorry. No, the Nats are.
They're not winning the East.
No, they're the wild card spot that was actually tied with St. Louis at one point. We had the same record, us and the Nats. So...
I really wish we had somebody here that could look up stuff like that.
Surprise. Maybe next episode. Possibly.
That would be too on the nose, wouldn't it?
No.
They're only 2.5 behind the Nats. The Mets are, and the Phillies.
There you go.
And they're 8.5 out of first.
There you go. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this thing that I kind of stumbled across. I call it Home Run Frenzy 2019. I was looking up a lot of the statistics and stuff like that that's going on about how many home runs have happened in the year 2019 during the season, because there's been fucking tons of them.
I can't seem to get past second base.
Well, I looked up a couple of fun facts with this, and it kind of shocked me a little bit, and it kind of makes me question. I wanted to ask a question to you guys after I read some of this shit. So the Twins are on pace now to shatter the single-season home run record with 316 home runs as a team in the major leagues. So that's what they're on pace for, is 316 home runs as a team.
They've hit more than the Yankees?
No, this is what they're on pace for.
Right.
They are only 5. They only need 5 more home runs to beat the last year's Yankees, who hit 267. But they're on pace. I mean, we've still got 50 games left in the season.
This season, have they hit more than the Yankees? I would think the Yankees would lead the...
No, they have.
No, the Twins are.
The Twins are
really
head and shoulders above anybody.
Yeah,
now.
they're on pace to crush the all-time Major League single-season team record for home runs,
which is the Yankees, which was 267 home runs last year.
God, how many the Yankees hit this year?
I did not look that up because that's not important. There are 14 teams, though, that are on pace to break their single-season records for home runs, and 4 other teams have a shot at it. So if you think about it, that's 18 total teams that may shatter or break their team's record for most home runs hit in a season by the team. Let's see. The Seattle Mariners have hit or allowed at least 1 home run in 107 games. So they've either dished out a home run or hit a home run for 107 consecutive games straight. Okay? Mm-hmm. The Twins are only 5 home runs away from their franchise record with 50 games left. I just said that. 1963 and 1964, they had Harmon Killebrew, who would at least throw up 40 in those years, and that this is the very first time that they're in this particular situation. So,
and they played most of their life as a team in a dome.
Mm-hmm.
Now they don't. Target Field is not exactly it's not it's not Kansas City or Detroit, but it's not necessarily a home run friendly park. It's okay. Medium-sized park. It's not one of the little tiny East Coast parks. It's not Houston. It is a formidable standard size baseball diamond.
Yeah.
And the fact, I've always said this, anytime the home run leader the season home run leader doesn't come out of New York, I'm always surprised because that fucking stadium was made to bunt home runs out of.
You always like to say that.
I have heard analysts talk about, looking at the videos. I personally don't see anything, but they're saying that they have compared, AB, prior seasons compared to this season, and they say that the ball is coming off of the bat differently.
That actually was my question. Do you think they've changed something?
I think they've changed the ball. Mm-hmm. I think they've put a bigger cork in the ball. Not as much string to absorb it, more cork to bounce off the bat.
What about you? Do you think they've changed the ball? Because nobody's come out and said anything yet.
Well,
and they never do.
Obviously, Verlander thinks they have.
Yeah, he did say that.
It's possible, but I mean, look at guys now. I mean, they're a lot bigger and stronger. I mean, we keep
so are
evolving.
pitchers.
Yeah, but that's also the counter argument is that, I mean, if you look at these guys back in the 90s, I mean, sure, you had Ken Griffey Jr., God, he can't talk tonight, who he was like, what, 6'2"?
Fuck, I don't know. I'd stopped. I'd quit making suits for him so long ago, I don't remember.
But, I mean, you didn't have all of these huge, jacked guys. I mean, you had the steroid era, but these guys were still not, Giancarlo Stanton height, and Aaron Judge. I mean, Aaron Judge is fucking 6'7". These guys are enormous. And, I mean, you have all of these players now that are hitting, but they're hitting so many more home runs than what's compared to the last couple of years that I'm going to say definitely they've changed the ball as well.
Maybe, and some of it too is the fields are different. I mean, there's a lot of newer field. Look at the left field. Look at the short porch at Yankee Stadium. Mm-hmm. Pretty easy to hit one out.
Then the right field, too.
Right, but they're doing it in Minnesota, where the early season is cold. Mm-hmm. The ball does not carry as well in cold air, it's not necessarily a home run friendly stadium, like I said earlier.
No, but I think a lot of these newer stadiums they're trying to make home run friendly. I feel like when they're building them, like Petco's a pitcher's park, but there's not very many pitcher's parks anymore. Now, granted, some of them are older, like Fenway's 100 years old.
Sure,
Wrigley's 100 years old.
Back when guys only hit it 200 feet.
Right, Wrigley's 100 years old. When the wind's blowing out, it's not too difficult to hit one out of Wrigley. But a lot of these newer stadiums they're building, they're not.
The power alleys is where they shorten it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They make it less than a 90-degree angle going out to that point. A lot of times it'll be 420 out to center field, but the total outfield is not nearly as spacious.
Yeah, and I think that might play into part of it.
Yeah.
It could be.
But like I say, they're saying that it's making a different sound off the bat. They're saying it's flying off of the bat. There's something seems to have changed. And a lot of it probably has to do with the resources that coaches have now, the way they can have computers that can analyze your swing and to where you can optimize it.
They're all about launch angle now.
Science the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, they can a lot of times tell from the velocity and the angle as soon as it leaves the bat where it's going to go. They have the distance calculated before it gets there.
Yeah, in the last few years, they've started talking about launch angle. You never heard about launch angle anymore, and now that's a sabermetric stat is launch angle.
Damn it, I can't remember the guy that said this, but he was on a late night talk show.
David Letterman.
No, it was a baseball talk show. It was really late, but he was asked the question because he would drop his whole back half to level his bat out, but it had more of an upward swing. And the analyst asks him and it says, why don't you have somebody, or what do you think about coaches when they tell their kids to hit the top of the baseball and try to get, ground ball through the infield and stuff? Just hit the top of the baseball, because if you hit a fly ball, you're out. And he had one of the best answers in the world, and it's like, they don't pay me to hit ground balls.
No.
And the other thing
don't
is,
dig the ground ball.
No, and he also said that that's really cool that they tell you not to hit a fly ball in Little League, but have you tried hitting a grounder in the major leagues? The chances of it getting through the infield anymore is significantly less.
Because everybody shifts. Yep.
And with the shifts, exactly. So his point rings true, and that's wherever you have this launch angle and stuff like that coming into play.
I like the home runs. The thing that's sad to me is it seems like what's dying is small ball.
I love small ball.
I think that's just as exciting. The guy that steals second, and then you bunt him over to third, and then there's the play at the plate on a ground ball to shortstop.
When was the last time you saw somebody legitimately steal home?
Bobby did it twice.
This year?
This year or last year, he stole home twice.
On the pitch?
Yes.
Really? Because that takes balls.
Big balls.
I mean, you got to time it to where you don't get hit by that fucking pitch.
But there's actually another guy, I think, and he stole.
And Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
Yeah, Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
The Jet did steal home.
Yep. Well, I was trying to think of it. I think there was actually another guy that stole home very recent.
Last year, Javi did it on June 3rd and July 4th.
And I think this was somebody completely different. He stole home, I want to say even against a fucking right-handed pitcher.
But I think they still call it a steal if it's a pass ball.
Maybe.
I believe they still call it. I know that to second they call it a steal still.
Yeah, I would assume. Yeah, it would have to be.
Right. So if you're just looking up stats, I'm sure there are a lot of guys who have stolen home. But
technically, Bill Cosby was the last guy to steal home.
Oh, that's awful. No,
that's not even a rape joke. That's a shit movie he did, wasn't it?
No, it was a rape joke.
Boy, that is unfiltered. No, well, who was in that movie Stealing Home?
I didn't know that was a movie.
Yeah, that's a movie.
Sounds like it was a snuff film.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Well, then go on with the rape jokes. Proceed.
No, there was what I was trying
to get booked.
What I was trying to say is there was another guy that actually stole home against a right-handed pitcher, so he's facing third base, and he was pitching out of the stretch, and he had his head down and wasn't paying attention. The guy took off and beat the throw by a mile, and so that's been fairly recently. So, yeah, anyway. The other thing I want to talk about while we're talking about home runs and things like that, how about the Baltimore Orioles pitching and how fucking awful it is?
How about that?
It is fucking epically awful. I could not believe some of this fucking stats.
Worse than
Do
our
you
bullpen.
recall first week of the season, I think it was, when the guy had a fucking no-no going in the 7th with 80-some pitches, and
they pulled him out of the game.
They had a 6-run lead and wound up winning the game 6-5.
That's exactly
Pulled him
correct.
out in the 7th inning.
Yes.
So that's the type of pitching coach they have.
And that was at the beginning of the season, kids. Let me break this down.
Yeah, that guy's never going to sniff another fucking chance at a
No.
no-hitter again. He had a chance for immortality, and
they
they fucking
fucked
took
him.
it from
Oh,
him.
they got an outfielder that can fucking hurl in and close games though.
Yeah, that's true. He
Yeah.
threw a whopping total of 65-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yep.
Woo! It's
Three
like
up, three down.
Ephus pitch. So the Baltimore Orioles have allowed the most home runs other than any other team, and that is 223 home runs this year as a team. That's how many they've allowed. They are averaging 3.5 home runs per game whenever they play the Yankees. Per fucking game.
Was it this time the Yankees hit 5 home runs against them yesterday? So it's the third time this year the Yankees have hit 5 home runs against them.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
It's almost there.
And they play in a home run-friendly stadium,
Sure.
too.
Camden.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But they have they have the most 5 home run games that they have dished out 5 home runs in a single season at 15 with 50 games left to go, and the previous record was 9.
Wow. So they've already shattered
They've already shattered the
the
record.
major league record or the Baltimore record?
the major league record.
Wow.
That 5 home runs. They have given up 5 home runs in one single game 15 times.
Sounds like the A's or the Orioles should have signed that guy out of the Colorado stands instead of the A's.
No, shit. That's incredible. Those are numbers to me that I can't. I'm so shocked. Like, what the fuck are you throwing? Hanging breakers, or what? Are you just leaving it up in the zone? And are you teaching that to every fucking pitcher you have?
Sounds like they had April call-ups instead
Yeah.
of September call-ups.
Yeah, it sounds like they're putting a AA team out there.
Possibly.
Which I kind of think they are. I don't think that a lot of the players on that team are legit major leaguers. They've been kind of basically trading off whatever valuable pieces to that team that they've had
Damn.
for the last couple of years and trying to rebuild. They'll be good here 3-4 years, but yeah, their fans in Baltimore are just gonna have to tough it out.
God, I don't know. I can't believe it. That's shocking to me.
You should believe it. It's happening.
I know it's fucking happening, but I'm going. Holy
The fact you won't
fuck.
believe it is just. What do you think? The fucking Earth is round too, right?
Yeah, that's round.
Dude, fuck! Look at this. Why ain't I rolling down the fucking hill if the Earth is round?
Oh my god. Yeah, I know. Those are the most annoying people on the face of the earth.
We can see it, motherfuckers. We got machines up there that'll take pictures of it. People have seen it from the moon. We can see the shadow of it on the moon.
You think the moon landing happened? Jeez.
Okay. Kurt Suzuki, I wanted to talk a little bit about this because apparently this just happened the other day, and I wanted to see it. I heard that Kurt Suzuki, he's the catcher, or he's a catcher for the Washington Nationals. And there was a video that went around on Facebook of him getting a ricochet foul ball straight to the nuts. And
Well, it was just a foul. It wasn't even a ricochet. It was a foul tip.
Well-
straight back into his nuts.
hold on, there. This is
Or is that the one from the Twins?
This is what's fucked up, is that this has happened to this guy multiple fucking times. So he is the most unlucky catcher of all time. Okay, just the other day was the ricochet shot. He plays for the Washington Nationals, and he took a foul ball directly it goes off the bat straight down to the dirt. And comes up and kind
Gets
of
him right on the bottom of the bag and then tries to come up his asshole. Yeah,
He got fisted by that ball.
sure did.
No, wrong terminology in the game. He didn't
No, that's the way I'm calling it.
Yeah, baseball's about fist size.
Yeah. Right in the ass.
Yeah.
Well, right in the gooch. Yeah.
That's how you get fisted from 60 feet 6 inches away.
Yeah.
He did, and then
That's an extension of the pitcher's hand. Is what that is. That is a guy who doesn't like his catcher.
it wasn't even his fault. It was the foul ball. But the thing is that 2 years prior, the exact same thing happened, except for it didn't go off of the dirt at all. It went right off the very end of the bat and went straight. And you heard it.
Yeah, it was like it was laser locked.
Yeah, you heard the sound of that the baseball hitting the cup, and you're just like, oh my God.
It almost looked like it curved around his thigh to get him in the nuts.
Like it's got a proximity sensor on it that just hit him right in the ball sack.
Yeah.
Right in the beanbag.
I feel so bad for the guy, but I don't know what to...
I have a hard time feeling sorry for a guy making 7 figures to play a game.
Inconsistently.
And you're allowed to fight anybody you want to and just get a suspension.
Oh, and you know that fucker's karate fighting with a name like Suzuki?
Oh, yeah.
Riding his fucking motorcycle home.
Or his wave runner. His jet ski. They make Suzuki jet skis, too.
Yeah, but you can't drive them on the street, Scotty.
Yeah,
Jesus
Scotty,
fucking Christ.
They're not street legal.
Yeah.
You can't even sit on them while they're on the trailer.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
He's not a scofflaw. He's a Japanese.
Okay. Got it. Anyways.
Let me ask you this. Favorite professional sports nut shot, since we're talking about nut shots.
Oh, I got to think about mine.
Jeremy?
It gets the nuts and other things, but I don't even know the guy's name. He was a gymnast in the 80s getting ready to do the vault, and the fucking trampoline didn't fucking spring for him, and so he just runs nuts first right into the end of the fucking
Oh, yes.
the fucking
Yes.
beam. Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, it looked like the most painful fucking thing. It's kind of like, that slow motion old footage of the guy getting shot in the belly with the cannonball.
Yeah.
It's like that, but in real time, and he goes at it dick first.
Oh, that's awesome.
You see the fucking powder from his hands. It is so awful to watch, and he lived. Full run.
Oh, that's
he
horrible.
lived to tell his adopted children.
What's yours?
Mine was
that guy didn't fuck women. He was
no,
a gymnast.
it was an adopted children.
Well, yeah, he was a gymnast, though. He didn't like women.
Go.
But mine was it was a former Cardinal player in a playoff game. Fly ball, can of corn to the outfield. Matt Holliday goes, and it just smacks him right in the nuts. And the excuse was that they were waving white towels. It was in L.A., and they were waving white towels, and they were like, well, I lost it in the towels. Why can't they wave Dodger blue towels? And it hit me, and he goes, and it hit me in the stomach. There's no way that was my wallpaper on my computer for like 3 years. It hit it with a ball right in the balls. Mm-hmm. That was my favorite ever because he tried to make every excuse to play it off like it never happened, and it hit him in the gut. No way. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I've got mine. I remember mine. This was actually back in the 80s, so I don't remember who the players were or what the team was.
The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Correct. However...
Oh, I got one.
There was...
that I want to bring up. Where the fuck's my phone?
There was... I don't know. There was a... They had an umpire that was making very, very bad calls. And the pitcher and catcher decided... that let's do a pitch out, and he threw it right down the fucking middle to an umpire with the catcher out of the way, and the umpire took it directly to the nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
and they did it on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
To prove a point that
Start calling
the shit down the middle, dick. No pun intended.
I remember that.
Yeah, there was also a boxing match. Riddick Bowe, who was the champion at the time, against this big Polish white guy, Andrew Galata, I believe was his name. Mm-hmm. And Galata was just straight out boxing him, but just kept punching him in the nuts throughout the entire fight to where he got disqualified, to which somebody from Riddick Bowe's corner went over and started beating the fuck out of him, and this melee just erupts in the ring from all the fans, and everybody just start bum rushing the fucking ring, and this huge melee broke out.
Oh, fuck.
Over him continually punching Riddick Bowe in the balls. and I mean, it wasn't even like just getting him a little bit below the belt. It was, boom, boom, here's your nuts.
I think I remember
I'm going to punch you in the dick.
I think I remember watching highlights of that.
I know we do Wrestling Wednesdays. We should have a day totally dedicated to we just post a nut shot video every Nut Shot Fridays or something and just do that.
No, that needs to be Mondays.
Nut Shot Mondays?
Nut Shot Mondays, because that's what work feels like.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah, okay, we do. I am so sorry. I missed Wrestling Wednesdays. I'll get it tomorrow. I won't forget. I know. I fucked up. But
it's been a long-standing tradition on this show.
Jesus,
that's kept up for over 2 weeks.
I know. But speaking of nut shots, you got balls to your face, right? Foul balls to the face.
What?
Foul balls to the face.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
The netting.
Oh, the netting.
Yeah,
okay,
the netting.
Yeah.
So Derek, and we were all upstairs and we were talking about this, but it turns out that Derek has some fun facts about all of this netting that they're talking about at the baseball diamond, putting up to protect us, the fans.
Let's see here. I found this on a website called foulballs.com, and it's a guy that has compiled these based on Twitter reports.
Uh-huh.
And apparently there's a lot of netting fails, and they give you a false sense of security.
Yeah.
And he's shown some pictures on his site where there's gaps in between. There was one where they said a guy from the Red Sox hit a foul ball that shot through the net and still was hit hard enough to bust an empty seat back at Fenway.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Because they're still made out of wood or something, I think.
So they're talking about, and he makes a good point, because attendance in baseball has been down, but fans getting hit by foul balls are up.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's figured out these different categories. And so these were the injuries reported on Twitter for the 2017 season. The 2017 season, 18 people were just hit, just flat out hit.
Okay.
Right? That's 13.4% of this total number of people that were hit. 61 were hit and they were using their phone, which is 44.9% of the people that were hit with a foul ball, and 17 were on their phone.
And you're happy about that.
I'm elated about that. 17 were due to parental negligence, which is 12.5%. 8, I like this. I didn't even give you a percentage. It just says 8 drunk. That's great.
Damn.
The fact it was only 8 of them that were drunk. It's a fucking ball game.
Yeah.
Why aren't you drunk?
What I wanted to know was when I was watching the Cubs game last night, and it was the bottom of the 8th, and they show the guy the people sitting down right behind the plate, and a guy was walking back with 2 beers. I'm like, how the fuck did that guy do that?
Yeah, no
they
shit.
stopped serving after the 7th inning, or in the 7th. How the fuck that happened? But 32 were going for a foul ball, which was 23.5%.
Okay.
And they ended up getting hit somehow. 32 were net fails, whereas it went through the net or something along those lines. So,
I have a subscription to net fails. That's where I would say that Orange is the New Black was a net fail.
So there were 136. In 2018, there were 209 total as of September 30th of 2018.
I got a quick question before you start reading.
Yeah, go ahead.
Didn't they extend the net in 2018?
I
Wasn't
think
that when they
was just this
started
year.
doing?
They did it in 18, I think.
Some
stadiums actually did.
But I think it's a requirement now.
Now it's a requirement, yes. Yeah. Okay, you can go on now.
Okay, so there were 209 people hit in 2018. Out of those, 19 of them were flat out hit, which was 9.1%.
Okay.
73 were on their phone or not watching, paying attention, which
Justice.
is 35% of them.
Nice.
14 were parental neglect. One apparently gave a kid a bloody nose. One was dropped by dad. God damn it, Dad.
Butterfingers.
15 were ricochets or something else off the pole that holds the net, whatever the case may be. And 89 were going for the ball and got hit.
Okay.
So there were 87 net fails.
Jesus Christ.
So basically, and the guy on here makes a good point, is that the attendance is dropping. It was a 6.6 drop in attendance from 17 to 18, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so less people are going to games and more people are getting hit. And I think a lot of that, it shows you that almost half, 35 or 45% one year, 35 I think another year, are people on their phone and not paying attention. And I just think that if you're down and you're in that area, there's certain spots where you're along that first baseline or that third baseline, you watch, especially if you're on one side and the left-handed hitter's up, you're on a different side and a right-handed hitter's up,
Yeah.
you watch. And as a parent, that's your job to fucking watch.
Yeah.
So I don't like the idea of it extending the netting.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah.
What I think was cool, we shared on our Facebook page,
Sure.
was the guy that
Played
it was
for
a
the
player.
Mets. Played
Yeah.
for the Mets,
Yeah,
and he was going for a ball
it
that
was a double A team, wasn't it?
I can't. No, I
think it was
can't
a double A or
remember.
triple A
Maybe
team.
I can't remember.
Because the ball was all the way to the outfield.
Yeah, and then had the net.
And he ran into the net and caught the ball instead of having to dive into the stands, which was probably going to happen.
And he protected the player.
Right. And probably
the fans.
And probably the fans for
Sure.
that sense. But I can see that giving you a false sense of security because those things do rip, and you've got a ball that's going that fucking fast.
Right.
That's going to rip through. I mean, you've got to have some pretty strong material. I mean, you got a ball going 115, 118 miles an hour off the end of a bat.
Yeah.
And it can rip through 2 pieces of rope.
Sure.
That's not
But they can, stop that with better quality netting. There are a lot of advancements in net technology. And here's my other thing with this. This is the only. I don't mind people being hit with foul balls. Pay some fucking attention. The ones who are going after the foul balls and
Take
get
them
hit by
out
them,
of the statistic.
fuck you guys. How bad is your hand-eye coordination if you got eyes on the fucking ball and you just missed it? Fuck you.
Why are you turning yourself in for
you
the statistic?
ran in front of the fucking ball. That's
Right.
how that happened. But the biggest thing why I want to see the nets, good quality nets that they can't break through, is the one who's pays the real price for this is the player. Mm-hmm. Hitting a fan with a foul ball fucks the player up. Mm-hmm. They a lot of times can't continue with the game.
Sure.
And, a big reason I think why it's happening more now, even though attendance is down, is that players over these last few years have really worked hard on this 2-strike approach, fouling off shit that's close. Mm-hmm. You're seeing a lot more foul balls being hit.
Okay.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. But yeah, the fact that people are so much more distracted, if you're not interested in baseball, don't go to the fucking game.
Right. That's kind of that's
bugs
my
me.
point. That's my point.
I've been to Royals games when they were good, and it was just a place to be.
Yeah.
I had people behind me carrying on a whole conversation for 7 innings before I finally moved. They were talking about what kind of carpet they were getting in their living room, their favorite Disney princess, what they were DVRing at this point in time, and just didn't shut the fuck up. It made me want to go to a play and just start talking about beer and pussy and sit right behind them for 6 hours.
Right, but the thing is, you can do that and still watch the game. If you ever watch spring training games, the fucking usually like the manager and like the AAA manager will sit out on folding chairs out on the field, like down one of the baselines with nothing in between them, and they'll sit there with their fucking arms crossed, talking to each other the whole fucking time, but they're watching the fucking game.
Yeah, these bitches weren't.
That's what you got to do is watch the fucking game.
It was 1-0, and it had been 1-0 for like 4 innings, and one of them's like, "Oh, we scored."
Yeah,
a long fucking time ago, bitch.
This is such a guy comment.
But if somebody
it's
gets
true.
killed, it's going to fuck up a player's career.
Well,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
oh sure.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
This is such a guy comment, but have you guys ever been in a situation to where you're watching a baseball game or a sports game on TV and your wife is trying to have a full-blown conversation with you, but you can't take your eyes off the TV? You're just still paying attention, and finally you
I'm sure it
eventually
has,
go
but I
mute.
didn't notice. It's the
That's
fucking
my
game's
point.
on.
That's my point. But I think part of the thing is now going back to this whole situation about these foul balls is that I don't know. I'm kind of with Derek. This is the parents' responsibility. You need to be paying attention to what's going on, whether you're the dad, the mom, or whoever's the guardian of these group of kids, teenagers, whoever the fuck you're trying to take to the game. Because obviously they don't give a fuck and don't want to go and watch the game. They're doing whatever the hell they want to go.
You brought the kid to the game.
Right, and there's some kind of responsibility that you have to protect those motherfuckers, and if you do a shitty job and somebody gets hit, that's on you, because it sure as shit ain't on the players.
Yeah.
Not a single one of them should feel bad, because they surely are not going to purposely fucking foul a ball directly into the line of a group of people. Fuck no.
No.
And that's kind of where I'm kind of going like, okay, these nets are bullshit. I don't like them one bit. It takes away a souvenir, like Derek said. I'm kind of switched on this. It's the only sport in America that I can think of where you get, other than hockey, maybe if a puck goes out.
Goes over the glass.
And now they've got a big fucking net, and I want to know how many motherfuckers a puck gets through that netting and hits somebody. But it's part of the game. You want to take your kid to the game, and you tell them every single time whenever they're a certain age, take your fucking glove. You may catch a foul ball.
Yeah.
That was what we remember and how we grew up going to watch this fucking game.
And you keep the kid interested in
Correct.
it because he wants to catch a foul ball.
That's exactly right. No more cell phones, whatever. If you want to take your goddamn cell phone, that's fine. But as a parent, you need to be responsible for the people that you have taken to the goddamn baseball game.
I totally agree with that. But what I'm saying is, accidents are going to happen.
Sure.
If if somebody gets severely fucked up or killed, it's going to fuck up a good player's career.
Sure.
And it's really takes you can't blame the fucking stadium for doing it because it takes a lot of liability off of them.
Sure.
I totally agree. In 99% of the cases, if you get hit by a foul ball, it's your fucking fault.
Right.
But they're going to find clever ways around those fucking liability laws.
Sure.
People are going to start filing lawsuits. Somebody wasn't paying attention when one of the fucking hot dog vendors was throwing hot dogs around at Kauffman Stadium, hit the guy in the eye, and he fucking sued the stadium for like $700,000.
Absolutely.
It was ridiculous.
Don't get me wrong. I don't want to blame anybody other than the actual person because it sucks, but you're exactly right. They're going to find liability ways to get around this, to blame somebody else of how big of a fucking douchebag and dumbass that they were not to pay attention.
Right.
And I think that's bullshit. And I understand why, why stadiums and companies and organizations are wanting to put the net up. I just don't like it because they are the person that would do that would sue the organization or stadium is fucking it up for everybody else, which is bullshit. That's my point.
Right.
Well, and the way I'm at with, if you take your kid to the game, that's cool, and you want to get your kid interested in sports, and I understand that. And kids have short attention spans. Any more adults have short attention spans.
Right.
I mean, I'm guilty of it too, whereas if I'm just sitting somewhere, anywhere, not necessarily at a sporting event, I'll look down at my phone and see what happened on Facebook in the last 7 minutes since I checked Facebook last.
Right.
Or something along those lines. But there's other things for you to do. I mean, if it's just a dad and his son, or a dad and his daughter, or a mom and her daughter, or whatever, one parent, one kid, you got to realize that they're not going to probably be entertained the whole time. There's plenty of things for kids to do.
Right.
Almost every game that you can go meet the mascot at the bottom of the fifth inning, over on the third baseline. The Kauffman Stadium, for instance, has there's playgrounds and and shit like that.
At every stadium.
Yeah,
every stadium.
There's so much stuff for kids to do at stadiums now. It's a whole experience.
Yep.
So you just got to realize that you probably aren't going to get to watch the whole game as a parent in that situation.
Yeah, and we can probably go on to this for a little bit, but we're gonna break it up.
All right.
If you're a person who can't sit and watch an entire baseball game, don't go to the fucking stadium. You can do that shit at home, and you get a much better view of the game from your fucking couch.
Well, go to the game, but just walk around if you get bored.
Yeah,
dumbasses. All right, NFL news. It's coming, baby. We had our first game, which I can't really call it a fucking game.
I watched almost 4 plays of that on the replay.
Did you?
Did you stand up the whole time?
I did. Some cocksucker fucking running his goddamn mouth thinking he's better than me.
Right in front of your wife. You just stood there like, you stand behind me.
Oh, well, hang tight,
my
boys.
wife doesn't suck cock.
We'll get to that in the shitty situation that we got coming up a little bit later. However, let's talk about that NFL news. First thing that I got on the table is Ezekiel Elliott has informed the Dallas Cowboys that he will not play in the 2019 season without a new contract. What do we think the Cowboys are going to do? Or do you think this is smart?
They're going to pay him.
Yeah, they probably will, but fuck him.
Okay.
That's where I'm at. You know, here's the thing is that is a double-edged sword.
Sure.
If he had signed a contract with them and sucked out, they would still be on the hook for that guaranteed money.
Correct.
You signed a fucking contract, you play to the end of your fucking contract. If you don't like it, you shouldn't have signed that fucking contract in the first place, but honor the commitment that you made. I hope, because he's got 2 years on that, I hope the Cowboys don't play him. And I hope that he sits out for 2 years so he is in shit football shape by the time that he comes back around, that nobody's going to want him anyway. I hope he fucking loses every goddamn dime that he has, and I hope he dies of AIDS because he's a cowboy.
What kind of AIDS? Magic Johnson AIDS?
No, because
Those are fantasy AIDS.
Freddie Mercury AIDS?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Freddie
I want
Mercury
that.
AIDS?
Yeah, I want him to come out to Live Aid and then die of AIDS.
Jesus Christ. I'm all for that. That if you think that you're worth more than to go for it and try to get paid what you're worth. But with Ezekiel Elliott, I think that and because the Dallas Cowboy fans kind of have the exact same answer that you have, and I've never had the interaction with as many Cowboy fans as I've had since we've started doing the show. They're in fucking droves.
Sorry.
Yeah, way to go there, Jeremy. But I'm getting that. You know, my whole deal was, okay, who would you rather pay, Dak or Ezekiel?
Zeke.
And I would take Ezekiel Elliott over Dak Prescott all day long, especially if you're talking about paying him more than fucking $30 million. For fuck's sake.
I guess I just don't understand what the fuck is the point of a contract if you're not going to honor your contract.
I completely agree with you on that. But I also see the reason why Zeke is throwing a big temper tantrum. And I'm not necessarily saying I agree with it. I agree with you. I think that he should go and he should play and, you know, whatever. Obviously, there may be some things that me and you and Derek don't really know what's going on. There also may be some kind of jealousy factor because without Ezekiel Elliott, I don't think the Cowboys win as many games as they did.
Yeah,
and I've got statistics for that.
If you take Dak out and you take Zeke out and you play the same amount of games, one game, that 16 without Dak, 16 without Zeke, I think Dallas has a better record without Dak than they would without Zeke.
Oh, yeah.
That's correct.
Dak Shepard is... Dak Shepard.
He is married to Kristen Bell.
He is. He gets... You think he fucks that shit?
He fucks that shit.
I think he fucks that shit.
I would say so.
I think Tom Arnold films it.
But no, Dak Prescott is one notch above a serviceable backup as far as being a quarterback. I mean, he is a average starter.
Yeah,
he's Ryan Tannehill.
With
and legs.
Cowboys fans don't...
Actually, Tannehill's got some amazing numbers. He's one of the most prolific passers of all time by numbers and completion percentage.
And we're getting
Prescott's
you're right.
not.
No, you're exactly right. And we're getting kind of all kinds of interesting conversations is what I'll call them on Facebook, where we try to interact with as many people as we possibly can, and we try to respond to those messages. But here's the thing where I'm going. If you honestly can sit there and tell me that if you could trade Dak Prescott for any other top-tier quarterback, please let me know. Because it ain't going to fucking happen.
No, I mean, it would be at best a lateral move.
I think it would actually be. And here's the
for anybody,
the example that I gave was Andy Dalton. You could get Andy Dalton for Dak Prescott. The Bengals would take that all day fucking long, and they could fucking have it, and I think you would see exactly what's happened. The whole reason why the Dallas Cowboys win football games right now has nothing to do with Dak Prescott or really, in my opinion, Ezekiel Elliott. I think he's a better player than Dak, but it's that fucking offensive line.
Yes.
That is the best offensive line in the NFL, and that's who you need to pay. You're paying the wrong group of people.
The line's locked up.
Yes.
They're locked up for at least 2 or 3 years.
And
unless they decide to hold out.
Yeah, unless they decide to hold out, but they're not being douchebags. It's the ones that are the high maintenance players that are acting like sissy bitches that are asking for all this money.
And when you do that, you lose the respect of your offensive line.
Correctamundo.
That's what Le'Veon Bell did.
All they have to do is take one play off, and it could be the end of your career.
Absolutely. It's like, oh my God, I missed a block. Oops.
Yeah. What are you going to do, fire me? We're the best offensive line. Statistically, even with that shit play, we're still the best offensive line.
That's exactly correct.
We're the reason you want $30 million.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And that is the thing. If you took a Ryan Tannehill and put him behind that offensive line and gave him a good running back,
sure.
Yeah, he's going to win more games than Prescott did.
Absolutely. So then it comes to this, Jerry Jones. What do you want? Do you want championships or do you want what you're getting ready to get, which is a drama-filled locker room, in my opinion?
I think you can blame Le'Veon Bell for part of this.
I do too. He's the first one that did it.
This has started a fucking trend that I do not like.
You've got Melvin Gordon doing it now too.
Yeah, he's doing the same shit.
You have Elliott and Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon's wants a trade now. Mm-hmm. Rivers, I think, said that, we'll go with what we got. We know we did fine without him last year, and I guess that pissed him off.
Probably.
Rivers pretty much said, we don't need him.
Yeah.
We'll be okay. And he's right.
But
they actually ran for more yards without him last year.
Yeah, I get it. If you're going to be a piece of shit like this and do all this drama and shit, then fuck you.
And see, what they have to really understand is that maybe by NFL standards, he's not making a lot of money right now. And if he wants to hold out and get more money because he's going to get beat up so much, I guess fine. But you will not endear yourself to the fans at all. This is not a relatable subject. Even as a shitty paid running back, you are still making more than most people will make in a decade.
In their lifetime in some
Well, I
situations.
mean, just in this 1 year, even if you're only making $1 million a year, most average people won't make that in a decade.
Correct.
And so if you want people to feel sorry for you or to empathize with you, they can't.
Right.
You are being a fucking child is what you're doing. You are being paid money to play a game invented for children.
Right.
And you're being paid very handsomely by most people's standards, maybe not by NFL standards, but by most people's standards. And you're bitching about it. Take my fucking job for a while.
The only thing I don't like about the NFL contract situations is that it's not all guaranteed. Like in baseball, you sign a deal, you sign a 10-year, $100 million deal, you're getting $10 million a year, unless it's front loaded or whatever. But you're getting that $100 million. There's Bobby Bonilla Day still, right? Bonilla's still getting paid.
There's multiple players that actually have a Bobby Bonilla Day. But
A-Rod's still getting paid from Texas, I believe.
I think so.
There is guaranteed money in NFL contracts.
There is guaranteed money, but a lot of that money is bonus, or it's if you do this, it's incentive based and things like that. So you'll have guys that all of a sudden you see so many more people get cut in the NFL just out of the gate. So if you don't live up to your contract, they can cut you.
Right.
But and I think that's where I have a little bit of an issue with it is I feel like it should be guaranteed. Okay. I think every bit of it should be guaranteed, and you can get bonuses for performance incentives and things like that. But the fact that you signed and granted you signed it, right? But you sign a 3-year, $80 million deal, but you're realistically you can only recoup $25 million or $15 million best case, or worst case. And you have a bad year and they cut you, well, now you're out the rest of that money.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't like that part of it.
Well, speaking of contracts,
but shouldn't you have to be able to live up to your end?
I agree, but so maybe all the other sports should be that way. But that's the only sport I believe that is not guaranteed all the way through. Baseball, it's guaranteed. Basketball, it's guaranteed. Even if like Kevin Durant could have opted in and took that $30 million that the Warriors owed him, he didn't, but he could have. The NFL, you can't do that.
Sorry, I had to refill my beer.
Now, granted, it's
going to be a long episode, I think.
It's a lot more contact, right? You don't get the shit kicked out of you in baseball and in basketball like you do in football.
Yeah, the teams are taking a much bigger risk on.
That's why
they would have to pay somebody who cannot play anymore.
But that's why I feel like the NFL should. I feel like these guys should make more money than what they do. When you see that this guy just signed a $6 million a year deal and he's getting fucking pummeled week in and week out for 16 weeks, and then plus the playoffs, and then
your average career span is 5 years, 3 for a running back,
or 3 or 4 for a running back. So these guys have 3 years to make all. Most of those guys came out early. You know what I mean? You have 3-4 years to make what you're going to make for the majority of your life.
Yeah, but in my opinion, because we're kind of running a little long, and so I kind of want to wrap this particular part of it up. But I think the money's going to the wrong players or the wrong area, because I think the people that should be most valued are people like your offensive line, people that protect the quarterback, protect the running back, because that's exactly what you called.
Yeah.
This last episode, you flat out, or no, it wasn't last episode, it was the one before that, where we had our bold predictions for the next 3 years for the NFL. You said that it's a possibility that Tom Brady very well maybe still be playing fucking football in the next 3 years.
Yeah, I said he'd still be playing.
You did. And you said that was probably the one that was the most far-fetched out of all of your predictions.
Yes.
And guess what? Motherfucker just signed a contract that pretty much says unless he gets fucking hurt, he's going to be playing football for the next 3 fucking years.
Yeah, 19, 20, and 21.
I'm going to ask you.
He might have a change of heart.
I'm going to ask you, why do you think he is still fucking playing football?
Offensive line,
I will tell you, it has nothing to do with who in the fuck he's throwing to, who in the fuck he's handing it off to, and it's because of his goddamn offensive line. Duh.
Yeah.
Football's more of a team sport, I think, than the majority of all the other ones.
I agree.
Right.
Because without the offensive line, you can't have a quarterback. But without a quarterback, I mean, that's the
Right,
that's the centerpiece.
The quarterback's the face of the franchise. The running back could be the face of the franchise, but it's the people that are the freaking guys that are in the trenches that make that game.
Every position matters. I mean, it came down to a kick last year for the Bears. Right. Every position matters in the NFL.
Linemen don't make highlight reels.
Right.
Linemen don't sell merch.
Right.
Linemen don't get Wheaties boxes and shit. Mm-hmm. They don't get endorsements. I mean, they're not the ones scoring the points, so they get lost in the fucking shuffle.
I take that back. Actually, the weak side guard is actually, I think, maybe the second highest paid football position in the NFL.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've always heard the left tackle.
That's what I've heard is
left tackle.
Yeah.
And the edge.
And I've also heard that's bullshit.
Okay.
I
could be wrong. I think rumor. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, you get there was a big. I think he's retired now, but remember Orlando Pace?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. When he came out of college, number 1 overall draft pick, and the
Rams.
The Rams got him, and they had to jockey for position to get him. But he was the basis of that greatest show on turf. Mm-hmm. He was really what allowed either Trent Green or Kurt Warner to step in there and just fucking fling the ball everywhere without having to worry about getting crushed from the backside. He was an absolute. He was an absolute fucking mountain of a man.
Yeah.
I mean, he dwarfed other linemen. He was ridiculous.
Okay, well, moving on. We're going to go on to something that means a lot to me. I'm going to go on to a fantasy football question of the day. It's going to be fantasy advice. Because really quickly, because we're kind of running a little bit long, but you guys will get over it. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing a lot of searching, a lot of research of what I want to do for this year's fantasy football. But what's some advice that we can give to other players? And I thought it would be a good question. And the question would be: at what point in the draft are you comfortable taking a quarterback? What round would you be okay with taking a quarterback? What's the earliest?
I took one in the first last year.
Did you really?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers was my first.
Was
pick.
Your first round pick?
Yeah, I had a. I came into the league, whoever I took over for got pretty high the year before, so I was 8th or 9th. And so I had a pretty late draft pick, and most of the elite running backs had been taken. Mm-hmm. And I had a feeling that Aaron Rodgers was going to put some pretty big numbers up, and he was a good, consistent performer. And that championship game, I mean, he just like 42 points he scored me.
That's crazy. And you won. I mean, everybody knows on this show that you fucking came in first time.
Oh, do you guys both know that?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah,
cocksucker.
All right.
Anyways, what about you, Derek?
Depends on who's available. If
Carson Wentz.
I wouldn't touch Carson Wentz.
Okay, Cam Newton.
Those guys, I'm taking late.
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes, I think, is a first rounder.
People think he's a first rounder. I would pass. I think the earliest, if any of the big 3 are available,
okay,
I would in the 3rd,
okay,
to 4th round maybe.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm waiting until probably the 8th or the 9th round.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go with you on that. My advice, because I've been doing a lot more of paying attention with this shit.
Yeah,
because I'm not gonna lose again. I'm winning this year, motherfuckers. I'm not taking a quarterback until after the 10th round. And the main reason why is because you have to load up on those mid-range, those mid-tiers.
You got to load up on kickers.
No.
You need at least 6 kickers, and you stream them.
Punters and centers. Is where I go.
Stream the kickers.
Running backs and wide receivers and tight ends going to be a really rough position this year because you really don't have you have 3 guys at the very top tier, and I forgot about George Kittle last week was a guy that I forgot about. So you basically have Zach Ertz, George Kittle, and Kelsey. Those are your top tier guys. Everybody from that point down, of course, you can rank them however you want to rank them, but that's on the same level of opportunities you're going to have to score. So I want to load up and not even, because I can even stream a quarterback if I want to and be able to drop one and pick up another that has a better matchup and see if that is, because as far as the points go, the points that you need to concentrate on this year, kids, are the running backs and the wide receivers and tight end. Tight end, not so much.
See, I think there's probably like 3. There, Mahomes, Breeze, and Luck.
Luck could be a good one this year.
Big 3.
If you have the opportunity, if you've got a chance for a middle of the road running back, like in a 2nd or 3rd round, or one of those 3 guys, I would definitely say snatch one of those guys up.
Yeah, but I think somebody's going to take Mahomes in the first in pretty much every draft.
Probably.
I think you're probably right. I don't agree with
because
it,
he does it through the air and with his feet.
He's going to regress, though. He's not getting 50 touchdowns.
Right, which is kind of my whole point.
I think he'll get 35 and 4,000 plus yards. Mm-hmm. 4,100, 4,200 yards, maybe 45 and 35 touchdowns. And that's a good year. That's a great year.
Yeah, that's a great year.
Yeah, but
You do that every year, you'll be in the Hall of Fame.
yeah.
Okay, all right. Bet. I'll make a bet with you because we kind of already have one with somebody else. But over under 38, Patrick Mahomes.
Under.
You'll take the under? Mm-hmm. Okay, if I take the over.
What do you want to bet?
I'm not doing that shit again.
No, I'm not doing this. Not the shot caller.
Oh, the blowjob from Jeremy said he's out too. Then.
I want to eat
Dude,
asparagus
I got
this
jock
time.
itch in my throat so bad. You don't wash your nuts enough, man.
I don't know. We'll think about it. We'll figure something out.
All right.
Okay.
I got the under on 38.
Finally, we're coming up to the end of the show. We had a new segment last week that I actually got some positive reinforcement on, so we're going to do it again. This is the shitty situation. So, ladies and gentlemen, the shitty situation is basically a would you rather. Yeah, it's just the way, we're just going to put our own spin on it.
It's fuck, marry, kill with sports.
Right, something like that.
And without the fuck.
Yeah, exactly. The shitty situation this week is, I'm going to put 3 of them in there because I like all 3. The situation is that you are going to go to some sporting event, whether it's a baseball game, a football game, or a basketball game.
Or hockey.
Or hockey.
Or tennis. Or lacrosse. Or badminton. Or the ping pong championship.
Such a dick, isn't he,
1979.
folks? Okay.
Highlight.
And you,
hurling.
Oh, I would love to go to a
God
highlight game.
damn it.
Can we get to a highlight game?
Rugby.
Do you think we can get press passes to any local highlight games?
Sure.
God, I would love to see that. I would
Why
love
not?
to see somebody just get killed with a highlight ball.
God. Anyway,
Field hockey.
We are going
Swimming.
to a baseball game.
Synchronized swimming.
And sure as shit, you happen to sit down next to 3 particular situations. The first situation.
Oh, are we going 3?
Yeah, I'm doing 3. I got the third. So the first situation is a group of high school girls taking selfies throughout the whole game and talking about random shit that you are very, very well capable of hearing the entire detail of their story. Situation
Does that include the word like every other word?
Every other fucking word.
Okay.
Like blah. Okay? The third, I can't count, motherfuckers.
God, that's all that goddamn booze you drink, Scott.
You're such a dick. The second situation is basically the entire row except for yourself has a weak bladder and continues to keep on getting up, standing up, and making you get up to let them out. And
Am I on the end?
Yeah, you are the end. You have to get up every single time.
Right. That would... Okay.
Okay?
Right.
And last but not least, sit next to a family that has very, very bad body odor. Now, the rules of these are you cannot get up and move your seat. You have to sit there or you have to stand there. But you have to be there nonetheless. Mm-hmm. What do you got?
All right.
What would you take?
I would take the people getting up because I'm on the end, so it's not the biggest chore in the world. I would rather that than be like fourth one in to where I'm getting crunched in every time that it happens. At least I can, get up, step out into the aisle, and move. The body odor thing, I am incredibly affected by smell. I really, that would just ruin my fucking night. And
Your nutsack says different.
yeah, I know.
You don't even use soap.
No, I don't. I clean
Salty.
myself with crystals
Oh,
and
Healing crystals.
and good karma.
crystal meth.
Right. Whatever.
Yeah.
Any kind of crystal will work.
Yeah.
I wipe my wife's like champagne flutes on my nutsack
There you go.
sometimes.
All right.
They
Fair enough.
sparkle in the sun.
Fair enough.
Anyways,
All right.
you ever get a shard of broken crystal in your scrotum?
No, I got to say, I
that
have
could
not.
be a would you rather.
That'd be a shitty situation. Yeah. I would take the shard of crystal in my scrotum.
And, the girls up in front of me, it really wouldn't matter what they're talking about or taking selfies of. I would be too busy masturbating. Oh, my God. So, yeah, I'm going to go with sitting on the aisle having to get up continually get up.
You'd rather do that?
Okay, what do you got?
I'd go with the body odor.
You would actually go with the body odor.
Yeah, I've sat next to you and gotten to know you long enough, Scotty, that I'm
He's got
almost
nose
immune
blind.
to it. No, I think I could deal with that. You could get up and get a bucket of popcorn and just fucking bury your nose in that son of a bitch, and you're fine. There's shit you could shove up
I do
your
that
nose.
anyway. That's how I get the erection to masturbate to the high school girls.
There's shit I could shove up my nose. I would go with body odor, and chances are I'm drinking beer, and I've got beer farts, and so it'll help mask them.
By the way, these are seniors, right? They've turned 18?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yes. Then I keep my previous statement.
yeah, I would have to go body odor all day.
I'm going to go the same as Jeremy. I'm going to go with being on the aisle and having to stand up. I don't think that's and I've actually had that happen before, and the worst part was...
I've had all three happen before.
I've never had the high school girls, but...
You like them younger.
No.
Oh.
No, I can't imagine how much I would be annoyed to the certain point to where I would literally get so close right behind them while they were looking on their phones and go, "Get the fuck out of here now!"
Can't do that, Scotty.
Yeah, you can't make a move.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I
You
can't
got to
make
put
the
up with
move.
them for a full 9 innings.
Well, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm totally picking at the end of the season. I can't. I'm the same way with Jeremy too. I can't do body odor. Fuck that.
Yeah, and there's two types of
No.
body odor. Is it armpit or is it butt crack?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they are two completely distinct, both equally awful, but yeah. Or the fucking guy who doesn't wear socks. That fucking guy pisses me off. I usually get him next to me in the theater.
Yeah, I would just rip ass the whole time. You ever do that?
Because you like your own brand.
No, what's crazy? You ever fart, like let one out quietly, and somebody else lets one out quietly at the same time? And you're sitting there thinking, man, that kind of fucking stinks. And the other guy's like, man, that kind of fucking stinks. And neither one of you say anything. And it's like a standoff. And then the one guy finally is like, do you really don't smell that? And I was like, yeah, that was me. No, that was me. It's like the perfect shitstorm is what it is.
What happens too is you can what's amazing about the human olfactory senses is that you can distinguish which one's yours.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They don't blend to
No.
one aroma.
It's ketchup and mustard, man.
I know which part is mine, which part of the cloud has wafted over here. I know which part's mine.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got an idea though.
Tell it to me.
All right, so
I'm an idea man.
If you before you started letting all your bad farts, if you butt chugged Strike Force, do you think it would change the smell?
I would certainly do it a lot more energetically, and it would probably have a hint of Nick Foles. Because that's the flavor I'm going with. Nick Foles and freedom.
We better clarify that that's actually a flavor of Strike Force's Nick Foles, not actual Nick Foles would come out of your ass.
You don't know what I'm doing.
Anyways,
Dude, Strike Force turns me the fuck on. It really does. As does Nick Foles.
I really did just throw open my mouth just a little bit.
Well, that's because you got a drinking problem, Scotty. We've discussed that.
No, absolutely not. But anyways, guys, we have a sponsor on this show. We have two. But one of our sponsors is StrikeForceEnergy.com. It is an energy drink. It comes in little packets that you mix with a bottle of water or any beverage, including alcohol. It has no sugars, no calories, and the same amount of caffeine as a regular cup of coffee. It has 4 flavors. You've got lemon, orange, grape, and original, which we call Nick Foles, because the original gangster, and he's American as fuck.
And it tastes just like him.
Exactly. But they do make a very good product. Basically, it comes in 10 packets. You mix it with a bottle of water, 1 packet with a bottle of water, and shake it up, and it is an energy drink that actually has vitamins that are good for you. And I have friends in the military that have been using it for years, swear by it. It is a very good product. Check them out at StrikeForceEnergy.com. Use the promo code NOMORECANS to get 20% off of your entire order.
And by the way, folks, we have suggested you can drink it We've also suggested pumping it right up your keister. If you're going to do that, we call that butt chugging. If you're going to do that, don't be a pussy and use like an enema bag or something. Garden hose that shit.
That's so awful.
Like you're just washing your car inside your asshole. That's what you should be doing with Strike Force. There's a reason it's got such a badass name. It wasn't meant to be sipped through your butt. It was meant to be chugged.
Oh, that's absolutely
Shotgun it.
awful. But anyway, I'm out. Anybody got anything
But delicious.
else? Oh, yeah. Well, if it makes your fart smell better, then that's an awesome product.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it would.
So, there you go. Air fresheners.
Yes. That's another use for Strike Force. Freshen the air around your ass with Strike Force.
I don't know, guys. Do you guys have anything else?
I'm out.
You're out? I'm out too. I've got nothing. Well, guys, do us a favor. You are the main source of advertising on this show, however, so word of mouth is excellent. Please tell your friends about this show. You can follow us on Facebook, is where we mainly like to hang out and share a whole bunch of funny shit, and that is at the Unfiltered Sportscast. We are eventually going to start paying attention to our Twitter, which is at Unfiltered Crew.
You got it.
I got it. I nailed it. We do.
He has it written on the inside of his palm.
No, I don't.
Oh, that's just hair.
Yeah, it's just hair. We do dab a little bit in the Instagram as well, which is also the Unfiltered Sportscast. So do us a favor, check us out there, follow us, subscribe. That's always really important. And leave a review. We would obviously appreciate 5 stars, but that actually helps get the show out to other folks as well. So do us a favor on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. That helps immensely. But mainly telling other folks to listen to it if they like this kind of thing. But guys, until next time, if you like us, do us a favor and tell your friends. And if you don't like us,
May your nipples get gnawed off by hamsters.
if you don't like us,
Tell your enemies.
there you go. And until next time, guys,
Take that filter off and make it dirty.
we'll see you. Take care.